Okay. So I really like Stanley Johnson. I like everything that he brings to this ball club. I just don't necessarily know if he's going to be with the Spurs in the long haul. And it might just be a gut feeling of mine, but I just feel like he won't be.
I want some nasty. Are we having fun yet?
When I first heard that the Spurs picked up Stanley Johnson, I really liked that move. But then at the same time, I was like, is this just going to be a trade piece? I don't know. I have no idea. And I do want to say this, the San Antonio Spurs are going to make a move. Okay, they are going to make a move before All-Star break, but that's some time, right? All right, now before we talk about this, we're going to go over this video, but really quick, if you guys want to support the channel, clanthemerchfan.com. I keep saying this, but I am backed up as far as the month of December. So if you didn't get your tracking number, it's basically from orders from December 15th and out. So if you didn't get a tracking number, just be patient. Still working on some stuff. I'm gonna get it out to you. But yeah, December was like, whew, it was a lot. But anyways, if you guys want to support, please do. Link in the description. All right, so let's go ahead and look at this. Stanley Johnson, he talks about the Spurs system, being vocal, NBA vet players who influenced them, defense, fouling too much, being a vet for the team, and more. Hopefully this is not chopped up in a terrible way, because most of the time when we watch these, it is god awful and it's really hard to keep up with what the question was even asked. So let's see.
I feel like we're kind of stuck in a rut in a quarter a game, and I think this is another night we can work on good habits. I think we've been putting a lot of good stuff in games. We just got to finish quarters, finish games a little better, and we pick up a couple more wins for sure.
I do like that wording. You'll work on some habits, because that's the real thing you really want to work on. You want to work on habits. You want to work on development. You don't want to necessarily win games. Obviously, he's not saying that.
Trying to learn more. Still kind of. It's been cool. I mean, I would like to see a learning curve faster myself personally, but it's still a process. So I'm just, learning the process. I'll come in every day early and try to pick up new things. And we're getting better. We're all getting better at the same time. So I'm enjoying myself. I'm having fun with it. So that's important as well. I think a lot of veterans I've been playing around my 8 years so far in the league, that's just the one thing that is consistent with good teams, is that they're very vocal. They communicate to each other on the court. And that's pretty much the only way I can navigate myself around the court, is asking my teammates questions, what's going on, and stuff like that as well. So trying to be a vocal as much as I can, and hopefully it's contagious. Reggie Jackson, Kyle Lowry.
What was the question? That was cut. What was the question? Oh my God.
Fred VanVleet, even though he's like my age.
Who he look up to?
A lot in Toronto. That
I guess
culture.
it's the influence.
Everything's about, like, it's a part of winning. It's a part of being a guy over there. So just that communication and stuff like that, I've tried to bring with myself to other stops I've had along the way. There's a reason why this organization has been successful for many years. It's not easy. So they don't do what everybody else does. So I think it's just that.
I wish he would elaborate on that. All of us as fans, I think we kind of agree with that the Spurs do things slightly differently. Okay, even like with the draft, just a lot of different things that Spurs do a little differently than other teams, and that's how you're successful for so long. But I wonder, what is it that he's seen that's much different than other teams? Like, I'm just curious.
Learning the verbiage, learning what's going on, what happens on a daily basis, how the team plays, how the guys play, how the coaches communicate. That just takes time. It's like going to a new job. If you were to start beat reporting for the Oklahoma City, it'd be the same thing. Even though you know what you're doing, it's the same kind of process. You know what I'm saying? So nothing different, but it's a high-level organization. They're used to winning games, and their process is an elite process that I have to get caught up to, especially coming from the G League and at home. I would say Coach Fizdale. We were talking about it last year. I was kind of figured it out for the past couple years. I've been watching guys like PJ Tucker, Giannis, all those guys that made themselves useful when guys play off of them in space and stuff. So I've been trying to figure it out. Still haven't really caught a grasp on it, but I'm kind of getting, knocking on the door a little bit so you kind of can see it. But just trying to learn other ways to be effective and efficient on offense, with my abilities. I mean, that's how I get on the court. That's kind of the thing that's kept me in the league.
How does he get on the court? Dude, I hate this so much.
I pride myself on the defensive end. I feel like I'm very capable. I just have to be disciplined, stop having petty fouls, and everything else. That's the way I play. But I think right now I'm fouling a little too much for my liking. So might be a thing I'm just getting used to. It might be a thing that I'm actually fouling. Look at the tape. I think I'm sticking my leg out a little bit. So that's just a fundamental thing I got to clean up. Hopefully, I mean, I'm 26. These guys are, I'm only a couple years older than some of these guys. I feel like I've played good defense for the totality of my career. So hopefully they can take some things.
Okay, so this was okay. So here's the thing though. So let me look up Stanley Johnson, because first off, it's kind of weird for me to even. I can't believe he's 26. He feels like a 32-year-old veteran, and I think the reason being is because even when he came into the league, he was pretty doggone solid. But he's been with like 4 different teams. Let's see. Here it is. All right, so yeah, he's been with Detroit Pistons. He played 73 games that first year, and he averaged 8 points. Maybe that's why, because I've been watching him for a little while, obviously, since 2015. But he always just seemed a little bit older than he was. But that's really, really impressive. But yeah, so you can see here, he's pretty efficient. And defensively, especially with us, he's done fairly well. So how do I feel about Stanley Johnson? While I love him, and I think that he is a really good piece and a really good guy to have around the locker room, I would be lying if I said that I didn't think that the San Antonio Spurs were getting him for a potential trade piece. Now, I don't know if that's something that they just have in mind 110%, but grabbing him, that just felt like that type of move, But we'll wait and see, but that's just how I kind of felt about it. He's not in the timeline. I don't necessarily think he's going to be a long-term solution or long-term, anything with the Spurs. But as it stands right now, I do like him with the squad. I think he's doing a fairly good job. But he also said, hold on, Stanley Johnson said that he is having a hard time with fouls. I haven't necessarily seen that. I know this interview in particular, quite a few days ago. But let's see. How's he been doing? 9 minutes against the Brooklyn Nets. No fouls. Maybe he was talking about right around here. You can see Utah, you got 2, Oklahoma City 3, and New York Knicks 5. That's pretty bad. But overall, he hasn't really gotten a lot of fouls, so I don't know where that came from. Anyways, hey, that's what comes out of guys that are really serious about their craft and guys that really want to do well. So I like it. Look, I like it. Look, I really like Stanley Johnson. I want to get your guys' thoughts on him. I think he's good for the ball club. I think he communicates well. Defensively, he's good. I just don't necessarily think that this is something where it's going to be a long-term anything. I know a few people wanted to talk about Stanley Johnson, or at least get my take on it. I don't really have a take too much, honestly. I think he's a solid player, and I think that he's a solid trade piece. I mean, that's the point I'm at now, where I know something's going to go down. I know the Spurs are going to make at least one more move. It just only makes sense, and I wouldn't be surprised if he was included in that. The only guys that I feel like are untouchables, let's see. Let's go to the Spurs roster. Let's take a look. There's only a few untouchables, I would say. Obviously, Don Barlow probably isn't going anywhere right now. He's developmental piece. Malachi, obviously. Yeah, the only untouchables I can think of, Blake, Devin. It would take a lot to pry the Spurs from Devin Vassell. Jeremy Sohan. I don't think Isaiah Roby's not expendable. I think they probably would. Let's see. Maybe Romeo Langford. I think the Spurs would be really hesitant to get rid of Romeo Langford. I mean, he has been really good with us. Had his career high with us as well. And he's basically in that timeline. Yeah, I don't see them doing anything with that. Trey Jones, I think they'll be hesitant, especially since you need that point guard spot. I know that they were talking about moving Jeremy Sohan to point guard if you were to get Wembanyama, but at the same time, yeah, no, you get rid of Trey Jones, we're kind of screwed. Hopefully Blake Wesley can remain healthy. He's doing pretty well in the G League, so we'll see there. But yeah, I would say Trey Jones is kind of untouchable. Keldon Johnson untouchable. Malachi and probably Dom Barlow. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah. Yep, that's it. Everyone else, I think the Spurs would be willing to let go, and I think Stanley Johnson will be in that group as well. Also, they don't have Stanley Johnson listed here. That's weird. Anyways, I'll give it to you guys later, man. If you want to support the channel, clanthemerchfan.com, link in the description, or become a patron, a YouTube member, only $2 per month. I appreciate all the love. Until next time, bye.